Hi guys, Ramsey here. Welcome to another video. Today we are going to do another first impression. I did a first impression from the house of Krizia a couple days back called Teatro alla Scala, and I got a lot of positive feedback on that. So I wasn't planning on doing these many first impressions, but I have a lot of new fragrances I'm testing. Actually, what's funny is this is something that I kind of naturally did on my own before I even started this channel. And so it's not anything new for me. I'm constantly testing new fragrances. What's new is kind of sharing the information with you guys. And I just like to stress that these are all my opinions. No brand sent anything to me to sample or for review. I purchased all these with my own money. Today, it's a very hyped fragrance in the fragrance community from a brand that I've come to really love, Les Indemodables, and the fragrance is Vanille Havane. Vanille Havane is created by Antoine Lee last year, who is very quickly becoming one of my favorite perfumers. I really like his work. And there's a lot of very positive reviews on this. I will tell you that I am lukewarm on this scent. And the reason I'm lukewarm on it is I personally do not like sweet fragrances. So if you pull up Fragrantica, the very first accord that you get is sweet. And let me show you a couple fragrances that this kind of reminds me of that I already own. This is 1821 Man-Made Spirits, Sweet Tobacco Spirits. Very sweet fragrance. I can't wear this anymore, actually. And it is, it's something that I just really struggle with, especially as my nose has matured. I struggle with a lot of sweet fragrances. You've heard me say it before. Another fragrance that this is very close to is Frank Bachlit's Tobacco. I think I like Vanille Havane a little bit more. The quality of the ingredients is definitely better. That is one thing with this house. You know, the house of Les Indemodables, their ingredients are top-notch. In fact, Yura, who is, you know, a famous perfumer in training, if you will, and he's in the comments all the time. He leaves some of the best comments in the world. Says that he thinks that this brand, Les Indemodables, uses better ingredients than Roja, which says something since Roja's fragrances are sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times what a 50 ml bottle of Les Indemodables goes for, which these are not cheap, by the way. These are $260, I believe, for 50 ml, and I don't think they sell 100 mls. I got this for 65 bucks, I think, for 100 ml, and it's very close to another fragrance that I really love, which is Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford. And I thought Tobacco Vanille was actually less sweet than, you know, Les Indemodables' Vanille Havane. I thought Tobacco Vanille was less sweet, but talking with some of my friends in the fragrance community, not everyone agrees with me. But that's why I wanted to do these videos, because I just want to kind of share my experience and my thoughts. I've been thinking about how to kind of do reviews as well, and I don't really know if what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to really call these reviews. You know, this is easily a first impression. This is the first day that I've worn this. It's about 3:20, and I applied it this morning, so this is a, you know, 7-hour dry down. This is a 3 hour and 15, 20 minutes dry down. And my beef with the opening of this fragrance is that it starts out extremely sweet. So the sweetness is almost turned up to an 11 to my nose. And then it just does this. The sweetness, as time goes on, the sweetness slowly fades over time. By about the 1 hour mark, 1 to 1.5 hour mark is where I really start to enjoy this fragrance a lot. The note of tobacco comes to the party around the hour mark, to my nose anyways. The tobacco joins the party, because in the opening, what you get is you get this, at least to my nose, you get this very boozy opening. And it almost feels like hazelnut to me. I haven't heard anyone mention hazelnut in the opening, and I was reading Fragrantica comments and all that stuff, and I didn't hear any real mention of hazelnut. And maybe it's just a trick on my nose. Some people said, you know, Hennessy and chocolate. Some people said dried fruits and rum. But to me, I got this hazelnut chocolatey opening, and that's what really bothered me, because I really do not like the note of hazelnut. It's like this confectionery sweetness, you know, like hazelnut coffee. Not my thing at all. However, after you suffer, for me, through that first hour, and the tobacco joins the party, the dried fruits join the party, you know, that amberiness, the sweetness starts to subside. I really like this. So I wish I could find a way to skip the first hour, hour and a half, and go straight to that part that I really enjoy. If you like fragrances like this, if you like fragrances like Herod, now, I think Les Indemodables, I think the Vanille Havane the materials are way better than the Parfums de Marly. But this fragrance is hyped to no end on the internet. There's really only 2 Parfums de Marly that I like and can wear. Herod is one. Leighton is another one, even though it's a hype beast on the internet. I actually do enjoy that fragrance, believe it or not. And so some people might be surprised that I'm saying that, but it is what it is. Now, there is one other fragrance that I wanted to show you guys. I actually really enjoy this house. And when I first sprayed Vanille Havane, I was instantly reminded of this fragrance, because it does the exact same journey of, you know, starting out on an 11 on a 10 scale of sweetness, and it just goes slowly down, 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 down as the hours go by. And by about the 2 hour, 3 hour mark, I love this fragrance, but I have to suffer through the opening to get to a part that I like, and that's Rogue Perfumery's Dervish. And Dervish is a take, if you don't know this house, by the way, before I get into the fragrance, this house of Rogue Perfumery is created by a man named Manuel Cross. And the whole point is that they are rogues. They don't listen to IFRA's regulations. They do their own thing. And what's interesting about this is also a tobacco, amber, and it also has a couple notes that, you know, share in common with this. Big note of vanilla in this in the opening. But there's this jasmine in here. This jasmine that I don't really sense in Vanille Havane. There's also this olibanum note in here, and saffron. This is more Middle Eastern targeted, I think. You can tell from the, you know, half moon with the star who they're trying to target this towards. Whereas this doesn't have those Middle Eastern touches. It's more in the line of a, you know, Frank Bacla tobacco, something like that. But even though they don't smell exactly the same to me, I feel like, you know, I feel like they kind of take the same path. So they both start out very sweet, and then they just kind of start, the sweetness slowly starts to subside and subside and subside. And I thought to myself, why would a perfumer like, you know, Manuel Cross, who is a chef by trade, but has done very well with this brand. I actually like this brand a lot. The Chiffre, there's a Chiffre Siam that will definitely make my top Chiffre lists. They have a Fougere, which is one of my favorite Fougeres. And so this brand does well by me, but this is my least favorite of the bunch. And I got to thinking, why would this perfumer who has done very well for himself as a self-trained perfumer and a guy like Antoine Lee put out the exact same type of fragrance? And it's a hit. It's not exactly the same as far as smell, but as far as composition, it is. And what's funny is if you look on the boards, this is the most hyped Les Indemodables scent. I prefer Oriental Velours over this personally. To my nose, I like Oriental Velours better. Even though this has fantastic ingredients like real tobacco absolute, CO2 vanilla extract, all that stuff, I still like Oriental Velours better. To my nose, I enjoy it more. And I'm a tobacco lover. I'll do a tobacco video one day about all the tobacco fragrances that I have and love. And I would include this one on the list, but I will not be buying a full bottle of this. I'm happy to have the decant that I bought, and I'll use it and enjoy it, but I will not be buying a full bottle. So, you know, that's just kind of my initial thoughts on this. I wanted to kind of share them with you. I go through this process sometimes multiple times a week where I wear new fragrances. I don't always share my thoughts with you guys, you know, but now that I have the channel, and if I get good feedback on these first impressions, I will try to do them more. I have a lot of fragrance videos that I want to do, that I plan on doing. I have a lot of content that I think you guys would really like, you know, that putting out would be well received, let's say. And I really appreciate, you know, the comments. Jonathan actually recommended that I buy a patchouli fragrance today, patchouli antique. I went and I did that. So I do get, you know, I like the back and forth feedback. I heard some people bought Teatro alla Scala on my recommendation, you know, so I like that kind of back and forth with you guys. So this is just a quick first impressions video. Everyone's hyping this to the moon. You know, for me, it's nice. I can tell the ingredients are great, but there's just something in the composition that I think Antoine Lee and the Les Indemodables brand needed something a little bit more mainstream, let's say. They needed a hit. Everything was geared towards the niche heads like me, the perfumistas like me. You know, they needed something that was away from Musks de Sables or Oriental Velours or, you know, Fougère Emerald. They needed something that I think would be a little bit more mainstream, and the sweetness in this in the opening is definitely mainstream. It's not as bad as this. This is so sweet, you know, I could just do away with this, never see it again, I don't care. But the sweetness is definitely there. If you don't like sweet fragrances, sample this one first. Do not blind buy this based on the hype. That's all I wanted to really say about my initial take on this. And if you love this fragrance and you've never smelled Dervish, you know, these two are two peas in a pod, a little different composition, but the same idea with the sweetness ramped up to 11, and then it kind of slowly goes down over time. So that's my first impressions of Vanille Havane. I hope you've enjoyed. I will be back with some more videos. I've been trying to do a video every single day. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to see your faces in the comments. Everyone have a blessed day. Peace. Ciao.